So today I'm going to share with you what I deem to be fabulous Hermes Birkin alternatives for under £2,500. Hello, and the warmest of welcome to today's video. For those of you who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, glad to have you here. Those who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you're enjoying my videos. I put out videos roughly 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion, slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please do head down, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud, and what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you, and just celebrating who you are. Celebrating yourself and celebrating others. So, the Birkin has been in, pop culture a little bit more of recent times. I was reading a really interesting article on Purse about the kind of impact following Beyonce's album, and actually it's been quite positive for both Telfar and Hermes in terms of the Birkin, which is great. I would love to own a Telfar bag. I love what the brand stands for and what the brand is all about. Just can't get my hands on one of the bags. If someone knows how, let me know. I'm signed up to the lists. I'm keeping an eye out. Is it because I'm not on Twitter? I hear Twitter could be a way of getting hold of one of these. I'm desperate for one. I just can't seem to get hold of one. But anyway, that's beside the point. We're going to talk about the Birkin and the fact that since Beyonce's album's dropped, actually, what Purse was saying is that there has been an increase in searches for the Birkin, and I think that's quite interesting because I always see it as a bag that I think everybody knows, but actually, I don't know. If I ask my parents what's a Birkin, they probably know Jane Birkin, but would they know what a Birkin is? I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't think they would. So, actually, yeah, maybe that's why it sparked a little bit of interest in people who maybe don't have that same level of interest in fashion. And I think sometimes being in this YouTube fashion sphere, we can assume that knowledge we have is common knowledge, which actually I don't think is always the case. So that's quite interesting. But anyway, before I get into the alternatives, bag of the day for me has been, are you surprised? The Aspinall of London Toe in Chalk Hill Blue. I've very clearly documented my feelings on this bag. I don't need to tell you them again. It is so beautiful. I just love it so much. I'm thrilled with it. Honestly, possibly my best bag purchase of this year so far. Maybe. It and the Mulberry Mock Crop Bayswater are in quite close contention. Oh, and then the Kurt Geiger Rainbow. Oh, okay. It's up there. It's up there. Anyway. Let's talk about alternatives. You know I love an alternative, and the reason that I picked this £2,500 price point is because I feel like you can capture the majority, and of course £2,500 is still a huge price point. However, Birkins start, I believe, £6,000 plus, if not more. I will try and find the GBP kind of values if I can, but I'm sure it's £6,500, even £7,000 is where they start. So if you can get something that gives you a similar feel for less and you would be as happy carrying it, then why not? And the reason I say if you would be as happy carrying it is because I don't believe in going for a halfway measure. If you only want a Birkin and that is all that you desire, save up, get it if you can. If not, go resale if you can't get it in store, but go for that bag. Don't spend £3,000 on something, wipe out part of your fund, and then still only want a Birkin. It's just not worth it. But yeah, I think go for it. But there are some great alternatives on this list, many of which actually sit below the £1,000 price point. So I hope that we can find some common ground. Anyway, what do I deem to be an appropriate Birkin alternative? Primarily top handle. I think that is incredibly important. A lot of these will have shoulder straps, but I think primarily it's a top handle bag. A certain amount of structure to it is important. I also think to differentiate it from the Kelly, rather than being a trapezoid, trapezoid? Is that correct? Geometry. I wasn't very good at geometry. Trapezoid. It needs to almost have a slightly winged aesthetic to it. A wider top than it has base, basically, whereas I think the Kelly is wider on the base than it is on the top. Is that correct? Am I just making stuff up at this point? I'm pretty sure from memory, I have the Kelly in my head as being slightly shorter, slightly shorter on the top than it is on the base. Let me know. But this kind of winged aesthetic, okay? That's what I'm deeming to be a Birkin. Oh, and a range of sizes. Comes in a range of sizes. Anyway, let's get into number one. And yawn, yawn, yawn. I promise I will not be saying so many obvious ones going forward, but because I know this is one you'll have heard time and time again, the YSL Sac de Jour. It's a beautiful, subtle bag. That's another thing for the Birkin, actually. It has to be subtle. But I would say that this is a beautiful alternative at a very reasonable price point. Comes in a range of different sizes. I love the structure of the Sac de Jour. It comes in mock croc. It also comes in leather. It's a beautiful, beautiful item. It's a very subtle choice. It's a very sophisticated choice. It is a very poised choice. So I think if you are looking for that very, you know, chic aesthetic, I don't know that you can do much better than the Saint Laurent Sac de Jour. It just ticks every box, I would say. It's very beautiful. The simplicity might count against it, but if the simplicity counts against it, I don't know why you're looking for a Birkin, if I'm honest. If you're looking for something a little bit louder, then the Birkin's not for you. So I think everything that the Birkin offers you, the Sac de Jour offers you, it just doesn't offer necessarily the same status, doesn't offer the same brand name, it doesn't offer maybe the same quality. I'm sure the Sac de Jour is beautifully made. I've only ever held a snakeskin one and the scales were lifting, it wasn't pleasant. But I'm sure it's beautifully made, but I can imagine that the artisanal creation that is the Birkin is, you know, maybe a little bit of a step up. But I do feel that everything in terms of the requirement that a Birkin would suit, the reasons you'll be buying it, minus the brand, I think that the Sac de Jour potentially offers. Now another one that maybe doesn't quite tick the subtle box in the same way, but it does suit every other aspect of the tick list when it comes to a Birkin, and this is the YSL Downtown. I really like this. I like this blue. I like the quite bold logo. It's a very similar functionality. It's a similar size range to the Birkin. It can be very easily transitioned from day to night, which again, I think is something that the Birkin offers. So this feels like a nice alternative at a far different price point. You're looking at circa £1,500 for one of these, and YSL still is a very good brand. It's very reputable. It's known for being chic. It's known for being sophisticated, and I do believe that YSL are quite true to their styles, and I really like that about them. So this is a really nice alternative. I'd never seen this bag until I started looking for this list, and I thought there's got to be more than the Sac de Jour from YSL, and there was. Maybe this has been around for longer than I've realised, but it's a really nice piece nonetheless. Now let's go to Celine, and I'm not going for a pre-loved purchase here. None of these are out of season. They are all current season bags, but I'm talking about the Celine belt bag. Why this is called a belt bag, I'm not, is it because it looks like it has a belt on it? Is that the reason that sits behind it? If anyone knows, let me know. But I love this. I love the top handle style of it. I love the slightly kind of winged nature of it. It's got the flap that goes over the top with that belt that almost cinches it all across. You can get these in a range of different sizes. Nice, simple, sophisticated. It isn't shouty in any capacity, and it comes in a very neutral palette. But this is one that I think you could dress up a little bit if you wanted. You could maybe do a really bright, colourful scarf around it, bag charms, etc. It's a bit of a blank canvas for you to accessorise. And I think that if you buy a Birkin in a more neutral colour, then that too is a blank canvas, because it doesn't scream logo. It's something that if you recognise that shape, you know what it is. But if you don't recognise it, then you might just think, oh, that's a lovely bag. You wouldn't necessarily attribute it to being a Birkin. And I think that this belt bag from Celine offers a very similar aesthetic for £1,950. So again, you're looking at more than a third of the price for quite a substantial bag that I feel could navigate day, into the evening, all depends on how you style it, but it's a beautiful piece. Now let's roll that price point back even further. Let's go sub £1,200, and we're going to the fabulous brand that is Mulberry. You know my love for Mulberry, and I think a great alternative to a Birkin, if you are looking for a piece from Mulberry, would be the zipped Bayswater, and this is a small zipped Bayswater. I love this green. I think it's beautiful. Is it a colour that I would necessarily buy for myself? No, I would struggle to style it, but I think it's beautiful. But again, I love the structure of this, the subtle branding, that winged aesthetic to it. It's a really beautiful, beautiful bag. It's got so much structure to it. It's got so much presence about it, but in a very chic and sophisticated way. This again is a bag that you could dress up, you could dress down, it could be day, it could be night. It will stand against bags that sit in a price point more than it, if that makes sense. I really do feel that Mulberry bags stand their ground when it comes to being very beautiful and very chic, even when you're looking at them against bags that cost 2, 3, 4 times the amount. I think they still do a very good job and hold their own. And this is absolutely that. I think this is a beautiful piece, one of my favourites that I'm going to talk to you about today. And I really do feel it's a great alternative. If the Birkin price point doesn't work for you, or you just want that look for less, why not? Yes, Mulberry and Hermes, in terms of brand, might be seen to be not quite as aligned, but hey, it's a fifth or a fourth of the price, a quarter. Why did I say fourth? A quarter or a fifth of the price. So there you go, it's a win. Now I debated whether this one should be in this list, and you tell me what you think, because I don't know, have I gone a little bit too abstract here? But I've gone for the Christian Louboutin Paloma. I do think this has an element of comparison to it. Again, the formality, the structure, the top handle, the subtlety of it. If you know it, you know it. You know, it's an if you know, you know type of bag. And that's what I think a lot of these are. They don't scream what they are. They are a little bit more subtle. Okay, the YSL. The YSL Downtown, a little bit louder. But this, I just feel, has a vibrancy, but in a very elegant way. And it all depends on the material that you buy this in. But this is a very beautiful and very chic bag. And again, I think it transitions very easily from day into the evening. This with a pair of jeans and a t-shirt could be a nice runaround bag. This with a beautiful jumpsuit, a great pair of shoes, or a tuxedo, or this could be a really stunning item for the evening. So I just love that transitional nature of it. I like that in a bag. I like something that can navigate multiple scenarios. This, I think, does it quite well. Is it more towards Birkin? Is it more towards Kelly? Is it more towards neither? You let me know. I've put it in here just as a bit of a, you know, maybe I've gone too far, but I think it could be that. I've spoken about this bag before as an alternative to the Celine luggage, but I also feel if it's an alternative to the Celine luggage, which no isn't on this list, but then I feel it is also an alternative to a Birkin, because I do feel like those bags also are somewhat alternatives to one another. And the bag that I'm talking about is the Longshot mailbox. And again, we have rolled that price point back even further. We're at £640. This is a beautiful, structured top handle. Comes in a beautiful range of colours. It is stunning, it is simple, it is elegant, it is sophisticated. Again, it's a when you know type of bag. It doesn't scream Longchamp. It doesn't scream I'm a designer bag. It just stands in its beauty, and I love that. Don't get me wrong, I love a logo. I love a logo. But like I said, if you love a logo, I don't think the Birkin is the bag for you, because anyone who knows it will know the value of it. Anyone who doesn't might find it a little bit dull. And I personally don't. I think they're beautiful. But I have a particular affinity for that type of bag as well. So, but I do feel that this Longchamp, for the price point it is a fantastic, fantastic alternative. Particularly if you're not sure that a top handle will necessarily be for you. So buying a Birkin as your first top handle bag, that's a big investment to make. So you might want to go for something that is beautifully made from a good brand that just costs you that bit less, and you might not want to creep into the thousands for that. You might want to sit in the mid-hundreds, in which case this Longshot mailbox I think could be a great alternative. I love it in this pink, I love it in the green. Oh, it's beautiful. And I keep thinking about the one that's at Bicester that is monogrammed. They have a canvas, a blue canvas one with black mock croc that's monogrammed. And I am thinking about it because then I would have the monogrammed mailbox and the monogrammed Rousseau in different colours. Both canvas mock croc mixes. I think I need that, don't I? Yeah, okay. After this video, I'm going to look and see if they've still got it. Love it. Whilst I'm in this price point, let's go to Strathbury and the Strathbury tote. This is just so chic. So chic. That bar closure that goes over the top of the single handle. Oh, it is a dreamy, dreamy bag. It is really, really beautiful. Not enough conversation about Strathbury. They are subtle, they are elegant, they are sophisticated, but I absolutely love the fact that you can get them in a range of different colours. You can get them in all black, you can get them in cream, but then you could get them in a tricolour if you wanted. There are just these pops, there are these subtle nods to playfulness that I absolutely adore about these particular bags. Again, you can get them in a range of different sizes. I just love it. I think it is so beautiful, and definitely a bag brand that I hope starts to get a little bit more credit. When I am next in London, I will probably see if I can go to Strathbury because I would like to have a look, because this top handle style, this structured top handle, very much works for me. It's very much my aesthetic. So I need to take my own advice and go and check out this brand. So I will absolutely be doing that, but I think this is a great Birkin alternative. Again, the brand's not necessarily comparable, but if you are just looking for that functionality and aesthetic, I think this does it. Again, one that I was debating, is this more Kelly than Birkin? You tell me. This is from Balmain. This is the Bee Buzz top handle bag with leather panels from Balmain. And yeah, it doesn't really tick all of the boxes, but I thought maybe it was one to just throw in there as a bit of an alternative. Again, I think it maybe sits between the Kelly and the Birkin in terms of the style of this bag. As an alternative, it's a lot more bold, it's a lot more logoed, it doesn't tick that subtle elegance box. I wouldn't necessarily call this an elegant bag, but I do think it's beautiful, and I think it's fun, and I think it's a little bit edgier, and it's a little bit more casual, but it's still got that similar kind of shape to it. I don't know, maybe I've gone too far with this one. The Paloma maybe was a step too far. This is maybe a hop, skip and a jump too far. You let me know. It's still a nice bag, so I guess I still want to mention it. But yeah, maybe I've gone too far. And finally, a bag that I like a lot, and I can't quite figure out why, but I've just always really, really liked it. This is from Ralph Lauren, and this is the Ralph Lauren Ricky. There is just something about this bag, and I think it's the way that it slightly converts from a top handle, then you can sort of almost bring out that winged aspect to it. They bring it out in a range of different colours and patterns and prints. There's just something about this. I like Ralph Lauren as a brand as well. I like what they stand for. I have been a purchaser of Ralph Lauren products for many, many years, mainly the diffusion lines, because I used to buy a lot of Ralph Lauren when I was younger. Polo Ralph Lauren, etc. I think I bought my first piece when I was 12. So I was definitely buying diffusion polo at that point. But it's a beautiful, sophisticated brand. I love the aesthetic of it. Love the fact that the Ricky comes out in so many different styles. I think it has pretty much everything that the Birkin has, because it's a when you know type of bag. How many people would recognize this? Honestly, and let me know in the comments, how many of you would have recognized this bag if it wasn't for the fact that I've told you it's the Ralph Lauren Ricky? Would you look at that on the street and know what someone was carrying? I personally would, because I really like this bag and I've looked at it and I've looked at getting one myself. But would everyone know that? I don't know. But it's a beautiful, beautiful bag. I absolutely adore it. I particularly love this bright, kind of vibrant, playful neon version, although I don't think that sits within our £2,500 price point. But it's stunning and versatile and chic and elegant. And again, everything that I think the Birkin would give you, except for the fact it does not have the name Hermes Birkin. So if that's what you're looking for, fab. If you're looking for something that has a tick box, I think this absolutely ticks them all. So there we have it, everyone. That's what I have been thinking when it comes to the Hermes Birkin alternatives. Let me know what you think of my list. The Birkin firmly sits on my wish list. It will always sit on my wish list. So this is not me by any stretch saying I don't want one. I would love one. And, you know, these are just, in my opinion, great bags that are alternatives for another fabulous piece. If you are just thinking I'd like something similar, but not exactly that item, or I don't want to spend the money, etc. But I absolutely adore so many of these. I adore the Birkin. Hopefully I'll own a Birkin, and hopefully I'll own some of these as well. Anyway, thank you so much as always for watching, and I look forward to seeing my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Mwah.